Hey folks, it's Rithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Ravenport. I'm just unhitching everything off of our beautiful Fendt, what is it? Fendt 700. Our beautiful Fendt 700. And I am racing at breakneck speed back to the shop because we need to get a straw spreader, so that we can put a little bit of straw in for the horses. And then the horses will be very happy, and we'll be very happy, and everybody will be very happy, and all that they should then have everything that they need. They'll have hay, and... oh, wait a minute. Did we even get hay? Did I go... yes, I did. I got 2 bales of hay, didn't I? You know what I should have done? I should have left the front loader on and gone and got 2 more bales of hay while we were up here so that I could carry them back. I didn't, though, did I? We'll have to do that next time. Anyway, once we've done that, we are going to fast forward time a little bit, and so we'll go to tomorrow morning, and then we'll see. We're going to have our crops that we want to deal with. I do want to branch out into more animals. I'm still not quite sure what animals I want to branch out into yet, though, so I want your suggestions in the comments down below. What animals do you want me to do most of all? I'm not going to do, like, everything all at once. We'll do one at a time. So, we've got some horses and we've got some chickens. Those are fairly straightforward, but what other animal are we going to get? Once we've sort of progressed further, a little bit further along, we are going to be joining some fields together. So we've got that sort of to look forward to. We've got that work to do, which is going to involve the plows and things like that. But right now, we took out a loan to get this tractor. And I don't really want to take out a loan to get anything else. So what I'm thinking, we got this right here. So that one is... it says 9407 MLATMLT. What's that? Doesn't actually state what the thing is. Let's have a look on here. Right, that looks like it's for a front loader. Back. And if I have a look in here, the MLT, it says something about an MLT. I reckon it's one of these. MLT 737 MLAT. Right, it's got to be one of them. It's got to be one of those. So we look into there. And we go along to you, MLAT, MLT. Right, okay, so we got that one. And this is the FZ30, FZ60. That's the front loader one. And then this, the L218 C232. L218. Is that the wheel loader? L218. No, that's the W. Wait a minute. No, skid steer. Is it a skid steer? It is. That is the skid steer. Right, okay. So, we've now managed to figure out that that one is for the skid steer. Then that one is for the front loader. And that one is for the other one. For the telehandlers. So, I should have brought the front loader. I thought that this went on the back of the tractor. I didn't realise that it went on... oh, hang on. Which way around does it go? Now I'm just confused. Right, let's buy it a minute, and we'll see what we can do there. So, yes, I do want to purchase that one. That is the one for the front loader, so we can go back out of there, and let's just have a look a minute. We're going to be wanting a plow, so I may be able to do something with the plow. If I can put this onto 3-point linkage, I'm hoping, because it's got a thing... actually, it's got things all the way around it. Why have we got stuffs all the way around it? Right, I definitely can't join on there because it does actually have quite like a wide attachment point, which is really good. But that's not attaching anything. So if I spin all the way round to this side of it, what can I get there? Have I got anything on this side? No, I don't. Right, we now have a choice between realism or shortcuts. Because what I can do is I could drive all the way back to the farm, get the front loader, drive all the way back here, and then tell you that that's exactly what I've done, and, you know, then there's our realism. Or I could just do this, which is going to be a lot easier. I'm just going to go like that. I'm going to go reset. I'm going to go yes. Okay. If you don't like the idea of me magically teleporting my loader over to here, please look away a few seconds ago and pretend that it never happened. And then everybody be happy. Right, let's just drag that one onto there. There we go. We hitched that on beautifully, I thought. And then I should... Yes, this is all working. It's all linked up to my joystick. I'm very pleased with that. So we can then come over this way, and we should be able to join on. It says the FZ60. Why are you not FZ60ing? You should be FZ60ing. Maybe it needs to come around this side. Slow down a little bit. Going on to this side. FZ60. You're not FZ60ing either. I'm starting to become a little bit concerned that we've got the wrong one here. Please tell me I didn't get the wrong one. Oh, nope, that one goes on there. Warzy bale spike. Right, so why does it join on there and not onto any of the others? Or is it something like... Is there other reasons for that? I don't know if there are other reasons or not. Change cruise control. Tip side straw blower. Tip side unload. Oh, wait a minute. What's it doing? There's no visual on there. I'm sort of going between the two. There's no visual on them. Unloading. This has got like 3 items on it. So I got the tip side unload, tip side straw blower. And then if I go there, right, I've got tip side straw blower, change cruise control, select tool. Why is that? That's like a double item on there. Okay, I'm not really sure what that's all about. It's but anyway, it does work. So I don't think it has... It doesn't like auto... It doesn't like start up or anything like that. Hang on. I will just press G again and I'll see if it does... It doesn't have an option for starting up. All it does is it sort of goes between them. And unhitch does that. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's going... Okay, now I'm just very confused. That attaches onto there, right? And then that attach... Ah. I'm unhitching the adapter between the two. But it doesn't, like, unhitch all the way by the look of it. It looks like it partially unhitches, but it doesn't completely unhitch. So that's what that bit is. That's an adapt... If I unhitch that, now what? Am I able to move it round? I don't think I can. I don't think that's an option. It's still doing that. It's very interesting that it does that, though. And then we go to there, and then that one unhitches the whole thing. Right, I don't know if that's, like, an intended thing or not. But I would guess that there you've got, like, separate adapters that you might be able to put between them. Something like that. Not really sure how that would work, but it does seem quite cool. Admittedly, it does seem quite cool. Now, of course, we find out if this is actually what we want. We want to put straw in for the horses, and I still don't know if this is even the one that we want. I'm assuming that it must be, because we can't just drop a straight bale in for the horses anymore. It doesn't seem to be a thing. Did I just say we can't drop a straight bale in for the horses anymore? As though we're old hands at using horse... I think I did. We can't drop a straight bale in for the horses. That's what... and then we can just stop talking. As for the cows and the pigs and... Actually, it's just the cows and the pigs. We'll find out with those whether or not we can put straw in. It does depend on what animal we're going to be getting those. So, you know, again, like I said, comment section. Are we going for cows, sheep, or pigs as our first main animal on the farm? Right. We bring this one over here. First up, we're going to put it near a bale, and we're going to see if that actually does anything. So I've got left control I, I've got tip side, I've got unload here. I've got nothing in it at the moment. Tip side unload, tip side straw blower. So I'm assuming that tip side unload, it puts the bale back out or something. But it does actually look like we physically got to drop the bale in. Look like there's any other option for that. So let me just unhitch that one completely like that, and then get our bale spike back on like this. And then once we've got our bale spike on, we can quickly throw that straw bale straight into the machine. There we go. We'll grab that one and we'll bring it back over this way. Like that. And then load it into the machine like that. Okay. That's now in the machine. I'm hoping that this is how we're supposed to do this. Because if it's not, I'm just going to be confused. Very, very, very confused. So we'll bring this back over here. And I will then load you on like that. Right, it's registered that there's a bale in the machine, 4,000 litres. So it looks like you've actually got to manually load it up like that. So then I'll go here, tips. Ah, right. I bring it over here. Once I've gone into the trigger area, then it's got start overloading with I. So we'll see if it starts overloading with the button that I've got on my steering wheel, which it does with the trailers, although it didn't with the water, did it? So let's put that one up onto there. Actually, I want to be able to see this thing in action. I want to see this thing working. So we'll do that right there. Start overloading. Nope, it's making me do it with the keyboard on there like that. Right. It is now overloading anyway. We're overloading and we're throwing straw in for the horses. Busy spreading it all out onto the ground like that, and that is all of the straw that it's going to allow us to put in. So we want to go to there next. Chickens have got everything they need. They don't actually need any water, apparently. So they're very happy. We've got 4 there. Productivity is the same. His productivity, obviously, doesn't change, but somebody suggested if I try getting another rooster, maybe that would affect the productivity. Because the number of... Wait a minute. That has changed. It's to do with the number of the individual ones we got. Look, see, every 60 hours we get a new white chicken. Every 60 hours we get a new brown chicken. Every 30 hours we get a new black chicken, and we've got double on those. So that's how that works. Interesting to know, that is. The food and cleanliness bits, those are overall values. Tech Lime, daily riding value. 100% condition, 99% there, and that's on 5%. This one's also 5 there. I'm wondering if that's because we exited the game and came back in or something like that. However, Tech Lime does need to do a little bit more riding, but it's now got water and... Oh, actually, I wonder if the 100% is because I've gone and put water and straw in. That might also have something to do with it. We got oats and hay in there as well, so they're going to be very happy with that. So all our animals are now currently fed. I'm going to leave this one right here like this. There, like that. Detaching tool is not allowed in this state. Why not? So what have I got to do? Right, tip side, straw blower. Stop engine. Not allowed to... Have I got the wrong one? Oh, I might have the wrong one attached. Ah, it's because I had the other one attached. Yeah, that's why. That's why it didn't want me to do it. Okay, so I can leave that one there. That one's absolutely fine. We've got our bale spike. We'll go and get that one on a minute, just so that we can move it out the way. I don't want to leave that one in the long grass and cause problems. And I'll also put the back weight on like that. I'll bring these over here. Right, I'm thinking we'll drop that one down like that. There, and then change you over. Drop you down. Right. I also want to drop the weight. And put that one down there. Right. We have got our crop thingies on... Wait a minute. Plant growth is on normal. Now, we've got no growth at all at the moment. So, we want to start fast-forwarding time a little bit. It's the next thing that we want to do. We're going to stop the tractor for a second, and we're going to go over this way. Those tractors there, we're just going to leave them for a minute, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to give Tech Lime a little bit more exercise, because he's not had his full quota of exercise yet. So we can jump out over the fence like that. And we're going to do this until the crops have grown a little bit, which is quite a good way to do it, I think. You know, you can sort of do a bit of riding of horses in between while you're waiting for your various different growth stages to come along. It's just another little item that you've got then that it's things that you can do. And it's like little extra items that you can do. Once we progress along a little bit and we find a map that is suitable, we're going to be going back to doing our super hardcore series that we started doing. On the Pacific Inlet logging map, I'd like to do another super hardcore series. The great thing about it, the thing I'm really looking forward to with a new super hardcore series, is that now we will be able to do animals. As long as the map will support it properly, we'll be able to put in some animals. We'll be able to like branch out and we can go for a full farm. Instead of just having to do crops, we will be able to put in sheep, horses, cattle, all of it. Yeah, the whole lot. It's all going to be able to be added in. And so, ooh, there we go. We've actually already got that. So let me do that a minute. We've now got growth stages. Plant withering is off. Crop destruction is on. Periodic ploughing required. Why is that off? That should be on. Lime required on. Weeds are on. I have left the plant withering off. I don't want that on. Fruit types, growth, soil composition. It doesn't need to be ploughed at the moment, but we have now changed it over. So we could do with some more fertilizer now. Weeds don't seem to have come up yet. I don't know when weeds do come up, and I don't know how to deal with weeds. I think you can use the weeder on the first, like, during the first growth stage. But I don't know if you can use the weeder later on. I think you do have to then use the sprayer and the herbicides rather than using the weeder, which is a little bit of a shame. I didn't really want to have to do that. But then I suppose we're using other fertilizers and stuff. So yeah, we'll use the herbicides. I just prefer the idea of doing it organic. Right, let's jump off of you. Tech Lime is back in his stable, and he is 73% on his daily riding, so he will need a bit more riding soon. We won't do that. I'll tell you what we will do. We go back over, and we go up to him and have a look over here. Look, press F1 like that. Clean. Oh, he didn't get very dirty. Right, he's very easy to clean. Can leave him alone now. And then I need to do a quick test patch now. So the next job that we need to do is we want to do a quick test run and just see if one growth stage we can drive on the fields. Because you used to be able to, with the really young plants, you can drive on fields. And in real life you'd be able to drive on the fields without doing any damage. Excellent. That is fantastic. Okay, we've got a good bit of realism there. It won't damage the plants lastingly if you go over them with wide. And most farmers that I know that would do it would use wide tires when the crops are in their really young growth stage, so that you minimize the compaction on the soil, and that's going to minimize the overall damage to the field. So if we just quickly run over now and we give another coat of fertilizer, put that one on the front just to balance things out a little bit. That's our crops ready then, and we're then we'll be looking forward towards the harvest and getting these harvested properly. We've got steady. Okay, I don't want to be I don't want to be launching myself into the air quite that much. I think there is about right. So let's just pull that one in and hide help. There we go. Right, so we are now racing across. This will only be 2 passes on this field, and then this one is done. Then we can switch round and go up and do some of the others there up to the 24, 25, etc., etc. We've got a combine. We've got a baler. Although I'm thinking I might try for a different baler. I don't like the idea of baling up all of this here into round bales. I would prefer to have a square baler, although that's going to cost us a lot of money. We may end up having to lease some equipment. That's something that we might have to do, is do a bit of leasing. I'm happy to do leasing. I am happy to lease some equipment, so I think that will be just fine. We're not doing super hardcore just yet. This is just going to be our rate. Mind you, this isn't super hardcore because we've got we're on easy mode. We've got very generous prices with absolutely everything that we can sell. So the generous prices do sort of fly in the face of a super hardcore mode. I'm just going to let this one finish doing this field, and then I'll move it up there to that field over there. And then we can jump back onto Tyree and do a little bit more exercise. So at the moment, no, not Tyree, Tech Lime. At the moment, he's still on 5%, Tyree is. I'm hoping that after midnight, that will change around a little bit, and we'll start to see how many days it takes in order for our horses to sort of reach peak condition, because I want them to get up to peak condition so that we can then sell them. The idea is we will be cycling through our horses and we will be selling them, although we've got to be... Oops. I don't like that. That is something I'm not particularly fond of, is how steep some of those joins are on that. I reckon that will be... Well, I'm 99% certain that will be smoothed out at some point, or there'll be a mod available to smooth it out and just like restructure it ever so slightly as time goes. F has completed their task. You haven't completed your task at all. Maybe I need to just move over a little bit. Over this way a little bit and then pull in a little bit. There we go. That's more like it. Right, this should just be 2 passes as well because I'm far enough over. It's all about getting it timed just right and like getting the spacing out just right. All of you will have this game now. Well, I think all of you. Most of you. Some of you who ordered discs may still, unfortunately, be waiting for the post to deliver your discs. And I am very sorry that you haven't yet got it, but most of you will now have this game. As of watching this video, you will now have this game. You will be able to be doing these things yourself. In the comment section down below, not basing your experiences on what you've seen me doing, but basing it on what you've now found yourselves, what do you think of the game compared to FS17? Which bits do you like more? Which bits do you think are room for improvement? Now, when answering these questions, one thing I'd like you to take into account is the fact that FS17 had mods. We don't have mods at the moment with this one, okay? So I want you to answer me with the base game, yeah? Assume that the mods that you love, all of your favorite mods, assume that you will be getting those mods, and they're just not available yet, right? Make the assumption that you will be getting those mods, and you will be able to modify your gameplay experience using said mods. What I want to know, right now, your initial impressions now that you've got hold of this game, you've all got your grubby little paws on the game exactly the same as I have, and you're now actually playing it. What do you think? What are your initial impressions? Now, obviously, those of you who fine-tuned a lot of the settings and fine-tuned a lot of the controls, it's always a frustrating experience getting a new game and getting it all set up. Personally, I also find that very frustrating. Some of you who've got steering wheels, you may be having trouble with the pedals and it going slowly. Go into the options at the beginning under the first menu, and you'll find in there, under one of those menus, you'll find sensitivity settings and dead zone settings that you can tweak. Go to those settings right there, and what I've done, my steering wheel is on axis 1, and then for some strange reason which I can't quite figure out, my accelerator and brake pedals are axis 11 and 12. Leave the steering wheel on sensitivity 100%, but decrease the dead zone. I've decreased my dead zone on the steering wheel down to 2%. I might increase it to 4% because 2%. Don't put it to 0 because it then never stops moving and it can get a little bit frustrating. But put it down to 2% or 4%. You'll probably find your steering wheel responds a lot better. And then accelerator pedals, I find that by decreasing the dead zone to about 8 or 10%, that's good. But the main thing that I want is I increase the sensitivity from 100% all the way up to 200%. on the accelerator and the pedals, and that works absolutely beautifully. I can now engage the cruise control on my steering wheel, and then I press the pedal, and at 200% sensitivity, it does disengage it properly. At the moment, I do have a bug where when I exit the game, and then I come back in again, or even if I just, you know, when you leave the map, it, like, shuts the game down and then, like, almost starts the game back up again, or it does for me anyway. It also then resets axis 11 and 12 back to their base settings. I don't know why it's just those two, but it is. So every time you exit the map, you do have to go in there at the moment and just quickly put your settings back again to what they were so that your pedals work properly. Not everybody has these issues with the pedals, but I do remember reading a few different posts on forums from people who struggle to get their pedals set up properly in FS17 and were getting the same sluggish response. That's the answer to that one. That's what you've got to go through. And at the moment, you do have to reset it each time. And I'm not quite sure why. I have sort of notified this as a bug, so hopefully it will be able to be dealt with fairly soon. But at the moment, that's what you're going to have to do. So that's some steering wheel issues that you might run into that can quickly and easily be dealt with. But I'd like you, in the comments section, to try to look past those initial setup frustrations. Because I know those can cloud your judgment of a new game. They cloud my judgment of a new game every single time. But that's the setup phase. And we all know that setup phase can be really, really frustrating and annoying because you can't quite get things set how you want them. And you feel they should be set how you want them, but they can't be. And yeah, it does get annoying. Try to go past that bit. Try to ignore that bit for a minute and just, like, imagine that it's not even happening. And look at the base game. Look at the things that you're finding out. Compare that to the base game. Even compare it to your frustrating experiences when you first started FS17 and you went through that initial setup phase, getting everything set how you liked it. How are the two comparing? What are the pros and cons between the two games? What bits have you found that you really, really like? And what bits have you found that you think, oh, I don't like this at the moment. This is a change that I don't like. Yes, we know that we don't have the ground changing all the time, being able to dig it all up and everything else. They've not included that because it wasn't working properly. They haven't yet been able to get it right. They're getting a lot closer. The way the ground moves when you put the placeables down suggests that they're getting an awful lot closer to being able to do that, but they haven't got it at the moment. So we're not talking about features that you want, that you wish were in the game but aren't. Those... That's kind of an aside. They don't really matter at the moment. What I'm talking about is stuff that we do have. How does that compare to stuff that existed or didn't exist in the last version of the game? Give me direct comparisons between the two. I really want to know what your thoughts are, what bits you're really liking at the moment, what bits you think still need improvement, and little things like that. Now, our next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward time again, and then we'll be able to sleep our first night on our new farm. We're going to go to our farmhouse over there, and we're going to get some sleep, and then in the morning, we'll have 4 fields that we want to deal with, but I'd also like to try and go and do a contracting job, because I haven't actually done... I did sort of look briefly at the contracts and explain them. I don't know if it was this or the garage thing that I was looking at, but I did briefly explain contracts and how they work. And I did do several contracts in the time-lapse. Once I sort of figured out how to use them, and I figured out the little quirks with it, I absolutely love the new contract system. I think it is brilliant. I really do. I genuinely love it. It's one of the best changes, in my opinion, that this game has got. You no longer just turn up to a field and get a whole load of machinery plonked in the field for you to use. Now, you've either got to lease the machinery, in which case you take it from the dealership and you drive it to the field, or you just use your own machinery. And the other thing that I thought was really awesome is the way that the bonus system works. I don't know what it's like for, like, fertilizer and plowing and cultivating and stuff like that, but when you're harvesting, the contract is for a set amount. So if you're harvesting a bit of grain, the contract is deliver a set amount of grain to a facility. Any extra extra that you take on top of that, you get paid for. You actually get paid as though you're selling it yourself. So it's like the farmer has said, right, I want you to harvest that field. I think it's going to be 10 tons out of that field. So I will pay you to deliver 10 tons to this point right here. If you deliver 11 tons, 1 ton of that you get to sell yourself. And that is something I think is really awesome. It's a bonus for selling all of the stuff. And I think it's just awesome. Let me just quickly brush him off a little bit. There we go. And you don't need any brushing at all. I absolutely love this new aspect that we can do like that. So I want to go over to here, and then you press R for sleeping. You choose how long you want to sleep as well. So if I just escape a minute, it's 8 o'clock at the moment. If we say we sleep for 10 hours, it's actually coming up to 9 o'clock. We'll sleep for 10 hours. It's going to take us through until a good time in the morning. I need to press R for that. There, so I'm going to go 10 hours. How long can I sleep? I can go up to 12, 13. I can go for 13 hours sleep if I want to. I'm going for 10. And sleep for 10 hours on there. No more space to place new pallets, eggs at chickens. Okay. We have filled up the space at the chickens. I didn't even think of that. It's currently cloudy. You can see the weather thing on the side up there. So we've got reduced visibility now. 380 in property maintenance, 561 in loan interest. That does seem a little bit higher than it used to be. Over in our field over here, we've got fertilized 100%, weed 100%. What do I mean weed 100%? Is that we've got weeds growing? Yes, we have. Look, there are weeds growing in here all over. And of course, now we've got to decide. We've got to find out, can we use the weeder on here or not? Are we able to use the weeder to do that, or do we need to use something else to do it? Pallet, chicken. I've got a... Is that it? I've got a box of eggs right there. Doesn't seem to be any more. We've got one rooster right there. Cleanliness at 60%. 10 hours left. We've got another animal there. A little bit of spilled grain. Nothing else down that way. Let's have a look at our horses as well. Let's see what... So daily riding is now down. It's gone up by 10%. Tech Limes, 7,900. As is Tyree. Now that's quite a bit more than it was last time. If you get that each time for the horses, that is a significant amount of money that we'll be able to get. Now, the eggs over here, right, I don't know why, but I was only allowed 1 egg. 1 box of eggs. I thought we'd be able to get more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place those eggs down there a minute. And I'm going to fast forward time again. Just a little bit, because I want to see if we get more eggs over here. We go to... There. Right. We get 1 box dropped down there. Why am I going to get any more, or is it going to block? That's 8 o'clock. I want to go until about 9 o'clock, I think. Just to see if it does do this block thing again or not. The shadows are coming through on the trees. The cloud is looking like it's thinking of clearing at the moment. It's not saying that it's blocked. Is it once an hour that you get this? I love the fact that we've got the actual circle on the clock. You got the, you can see you've got an analog display on there. Right, I'm not getting anything extra on there. So I got 1 box of chickens here again. 1 box of chickens, 1 box of eggs. Here again. 8 litres of eggs there. That one's got 8 litres. Right, so it's saying 8 litres of eggs. So what did I get over here? What are these? You can get the eggs and you can stack them up, but I don't know where I'm supposed to be stacking these eggs up. I think, really, you want more eggs than what we've got. More chickens, rather. And I also do wonder if we should be getting more eggs turning up there. I don't really know about that. That barn we will be able to sell. Now, have we gone through another growth stage while I was fast-forwarding that bit of time? We haven't. It's still staying the same as it was. So now we have a look in on the map, and we've got fruit types right there. We've got growth there. We are on the final growth stage at the moment, which is probably a little bit too far along for my liking, but still, we'll cope with it. We want to go into here. First up, we want to have a look at the weeders. Does it say, pull out small grown weeds between crops, improving they can only be used in the first growing stages of crops? Right. They are only for the first growing stages. We didn't have weeds in the first growth stage. We had weeds later on. So what we need to do is... Well, we've got our... Yeah, we're going to need crop protection, aren't we? So we want to go there. And... Seeders. We're going to go here for the sprayers. You can have fertilizer in here, or you can have herbicide. So we've got an 8,000 litre tank right there with a 1,300 litre... Yeah, that's... Oh, no, 1,500 litre tank there with a 1,300 litre tank that goes on the back. So that's just an extension on that one. And that'll get us 30 grand. It's $38,000, that is. This one here, the Hardi, this is one that has been around for a long time. I'm very familiar with this brand because when the farm that I was born on, we had a Hardi sprayer, a little old tiny one. These have been around for a long time. It was a very, very small sprayer, little tiny thing it was, but I do remember vaguely. I'm saying it's Hardi. I'm 90% certain it was Hardi. I might actually be wrong on that, but I'm really hoping that it was, because that would be so cool if it was. So that's 35. That's 2,200. I want to get that one. We can't afford to buy it, so we're going to have to lease that one. And we're also going to need to get some herbicide as well. So we're going to go and get our Fendt tractor, and we're going to go racing back up to the dealership so that we can put that sprayer on. I'm going to get the... Have I got the front weight on? I do. I have the front weight on and ready. So I will meet you at the dealership, and we can get a sprayer. See, I'm not actually resetting this one because of the whole thing with emptying out the fuel. And I didn't really want to go and spend money to refuel. So I have actually driven all the way here, which is highly unorthodox, because normally it would be a simple reset, and then we can carry right on. So we want to come into here. We've got no options on it, so we're going to lease that one. It's 2,800. I think leasing is absolutely fine with this. We'll lease quite a bit of small machinery, and we're going to buy more of the bigger stuff if we can, because leasing on the bigger stuff does tend to cost a lot more. So we've got a fertilizer tank right there, and we've got a herbicide tank right there. I'm not worried about the fertilizer, so I want to buy that one there, details. And then I want to buy one of those. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups again now. Okay. Yeah, we'll just back out for a minute. We can go and put that sprayer on, and then we can load up. This one carries 2,200 litres, which is quite fortunate, because that tank has 2,000 litres on board. So we'll be able to take all of the spray. There we go. The Hardi Mega. Very pleased to be able to have this one, I must say. I really am. Okay, we'll lower that one down. Press R to overload from the tank into this one and fill up. Let's see, is there any... There's an active fuel gauge, like a level gauge on the side. That is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. That one right there, that one went up as the tank filled up. That is an active working gauge on the side of it. That is just brilliant. That is a beautiful, gorgeous attention to detail that I am very impressed with. I'm assuming that is just like how it sends all the... I don't know very much about sprayers. I've used a sprayer once. In my entire life, I have used a sprayer once. So I don't know very much about them. Because it was all set up for me, and I've never been involved with setting them up or anything to do with spray nozzles or setting them or anything. I'm assuming that each of those spray nozzles there, you change, you like spin them around to have the different colors for like different spray settings that you might want to use for different crops and different applications and so on, whether it's a fine mist or droplets or anything like that. That's the assumption that I'm making on that, is that that's what you've got to go and do. Anyway, that's an aside. Let's get back to the farm, and then we can actually do spraying for spraying for the weeds. Quite looking forward to doing this now. Of course, one thing I did forget to do was change the wheels on the tractor. So the next job that we're going to actually do right here is I'm going to go there, And I'm going to go to the garage, and I'm going to go through to the buildings that we own. And that lovely barn that we've got right there is going to be sold. Yes, fairly well. We'll keep the other barn for a minute, but I am selling that one. And then I'm going to go here, and decoration. I could buy the barn back if I wanted to. There is that one available. And I did notice that actually these decorations, these are available here on this map, but these are not available on the Felsbrunn map. It's a different set of buildings that are available on the Felsbrunn map, but not all of these. So they've got decorations that are like limited to the different maps. Miscellaneous right here, this is all we got, is these 4. We don't have any extras on this. The sheds down here, we've got these 3. You've got some very different size sheds. These are quite big, these. What else did we have? So the silos, that's fairly straightforward, and we've got all the animal pens. Anyway, it's this one here, the vehicle workshop. I want that one. As we've not got the wheels, I figured, well, we'll grab a vehicle workshop and we'll do something with it over here. One thing. I'd like the vehicle workshop, ideally, to be there. Like, right in front of that one. But I don't know how close I can get to it. So let's have a look. That one there. Actually, I want to turn that one round. If we can go that way. And then I press C and, like, snap to grid so that it goes in a straight line there. It's out the front. So I want to try and get this as close to that fence as I possibly can. Without it, terrain cannot be deformed here. So maybe, can I rotate it round again? By having it angled ever so slightly, I can put it there like that. That's about the best I can do, I think. And that's fairly close to the structure over there. It is close over on this edge as well, but it's not too bad because I'm not going to be bringing the field out over onto this bit when we redesign that field there. So I've got room to be driving past, which I think is a good thing. So now if I come over here, what you need to be able to do is you've got to be able to park a machine in front of it. There, haven't you? So we want to park there. And then I go to here and... Ooh. Right. This time I can customize. Customize my tractor. Sell, back, repair. I'm assuming then that if I have like the other bits of machinery in here, I can't sell it, can I? Let's go repair a minute. That's $60 to repair that one. Then I can see you do have to have it repaired up to full condition in order to be able to sell it. But I want to customize this one. We want to go from wides to narrow tires that we're going to want for this. So customize that. There. Yes, $0. Okay, right. It does unhitch everything automatically when you've done something like that. But that's fine. We don't mind that. And then we can unhitch there. So now all we got left to do is do a little bit of spraying. So let's get this one over here and unfolded. Then we can bring it in round and we can do the spraying of the weeds. So that one comes out like that. It's got, I see the wheels at the bottom. Therefore, when you unhitch it and you sit it down onto the ground, we've got an adjustment like this for the various heights of the different crops that you might have. So I would say that we want it something like that, really. And then we'll bring that one in. I'm going to set the hired help. Actually, I'm going to use this myself. So often I use hired help for just about everything. I like using hired help. So I'm going to start that one up. It is using up our spray fairly quickly. And then I'm going to start going in through the field. That's doing fine. Hired help can take over a minute. So that I can look in a little bit closer and I can see. So you look down here. And you can compare the difference. You can just make out that as that wall of water riddled with pesticides goes through, it is in fact killing the weeds. Although I see that it's left some weeds. It's actually left a tiny little strip of weeds at the very end of the field right there that it didn't quite get. So we may have to go and get another tank of the stuff in order to be able to finish this properly. It's curling in round there. It is doing a good job of turning. It's covering most of the field. comes back all the way to there, and then it starts spraying again. So it's killing the weeds off very nicely, and I think it leaves the weeds in black. The weeds are staying in the field, but they're kind of just blackened once it's been sprayed. And see what it does once it gets to the end of the field here, how well it... Right, there it went right to the very edge of the field. It's backing up now. Is it going... It is. Right, that one's going to carry on and it's going to go over there. It's saying weed 0%. So we got no weeds growing in this field at all. And I'm going to run over here a minute because there was, like, I thought there was just a few right on the edge, but there's maybe one or two up at this end that it didn't quite reach. But you can see there, you've got the blackened remains of the weeds. And there, you can actually pick them out in the field. You can see in some of these places where the weeds have now been dealt with. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Right, that's field info there. Then fertilized 100%. Fertilized 68%. Okay, I don't get why the numbers are changing, but still. We've stopped. Why have we stopped? Did you... Oh, hang on, that's... Of course, the next thing we need to check now is what's happened over here. So we go into here, we've got 100% weed... It's not the entire field it's looking at. It's actually checking to see which bits of the field have been done and which bits of the field have not been done. So it's done that. It's actually come down through there, and we've wasted a little bit of our spray as we've come down across the field. I can live with that. I don't mind. We've still got to do 2 passes on this, so we'll go up to there, and I'll do that. So our sprayer is going to go through again. We'll carry on with our spraying in the next episode, and then once the spraying is done, we can fast forward and we'll be able to start our harvest. That's going to be the next thing that we're going to want to do. We've got these 4 little fields that we want to harvest, and also we'll start looking at where we can place animals and where we're going to place other things on here as well, and what fields we're going to expand, whether we're going to get rid of any fields, and of course I want you in the comment section to tell me what animals you want me to be working on in the future. Or what animals you'd like me to be working on first. We've got cows, sheep, or pigs. You pick. We've got these animals over here, and we'll be working on those, but I want one of the other animals as well that we will also work on. Which one do you want? This field here, we're going to make this one bigger, I think, and that field over there we'll make bigger. That one up there, once that one's harvested, I will very likely put the cows up there in place of that field, so that we won't have to... It'll just be easier. We'll then have 2 fields, and then the cows have got somewhere sort of... Or the sheep, or the pigs, whichever it is that you're going for, will then have somewhere that they can go, and I think that's going to work out quite nicely. But anyway, that is all we got time for today. So if you've enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.